shine, shine all day, making sunshine into moonshine. Something out of nothing, song to ease my suffering. Let it shine, let it shine, 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 shine all day. Into moonshine.
Moonshine. For much of its history, it served as a poor man's hedge against hard times. It was how people tried to transcend their surroundings and their circumstances, and how they coped with life. And that's very much the story. Started in Jamestown, so very early they were distilling corn into liquor. And before the Civil War, it was perfectly legal for people to make liquor.
We were basically born and raised on a mule back. We were raised on mules. I mean, that's the way we eat, that's the way we made the crops, that's the way they plow the ground, plant the seeds, grow the corn, grow the wheat, grow the rye, barley, whatever we needed. And then you always had leftover from this year to next year to replant in the ground. They would grind this up. They would use it for cow feed, hog feed, chicken feed, put it in mason jars and can it, process it, you know, it'd keep forever. And then what excess corn they wound up with went in a wooden barrel. I guess you know the rest of that story.
We're here on part of our family land. That's where our moonshine heritage came from. Going back to the late 1700s, this whole little region here has been in the family for the most part, anywhere from the late 17 to the early 1800s. We're mainly Scots-Irish. You know, they made liquor in Scotland and Ireland when they were the Ulster Scots, and they brought that tradition with them. When they got here, they quit using barley. It wasn't as readily available. Corn was the main crop, and so they switched to corn.
People grew crops here, and those crops, you know, they had a small shelf life. People didn't have refrigerators or anything. They didn't have refrigerated trucks to get on the market, so they couldn't take their goods to market and sell them. So they would take all of their excess crops in the fall, and they would turn apples, peaches, corn, sugarcane, anything that they had, almost anything could be turned into liquor. It was literally the only thing that these people could use for any form of money.
It was cash money. There was an old man right down the road carried a 6-quart kerosene jug all the time with a corn cob stuck down in it. He'd sell you a teacup full or a quart. He made 2 trips a day. He made about a 10-mile round. And everybody buying from him, get a drink or get a pint or a quart or a gallon for that matter, because he had 6 quarts in there. He always managed to serve everybody as regular customers. They all liked it back in the day. He'd go in the morning early, and then he'd do the evening tours. You know, they had to have a morning drink to rinse their mouth out and kill the germs. And then at night, they had to have a little drink to clean their mouth up before they went to bed, you know. But it was all about sleeping good. No, everybody wasn't moonshining, but they were contributing more or less to the moonshining, like the corn business and the barter system. You know, this man grow a couple acres of corn. Well, he didn't need all of it. Well, he might trade, you know, a sled load of corn for a ham of meat or a middling of meat out of a hog. Well, that helped feed his family, and that corn, you know, he didn't have cash money, but the barter system worked. So the corn was never wasted. I mean, that was one of the greatest commodities, was corn.